everyone, it's Lauren and I am here with Simon from Savidge Reads.
I wave on everyone else's channel except mine. Like, hi guys!
I hate when I have a collab and people are like, it's Lauren, and I'm like, in this series, oh, okay, don't worry, you don't have to be in it if you don't want to. In this series, what I do is invite friends onto my channel to bring their own booze and bring their own books. So we are in Simon's house at the moment.
So basically, I've brought my own booze and my own books to my own house and
to your own
just
house.
broken in. So I brought Blue WKD, not just your common garden. Wasn't it orange that came out first?
Oh, I don't remember like the order that WKDs came out.
Because orange was that iron brew flavour, and then this was your
raspberry.
Oh wow, let's check. Or bubblegum, someone saying. Oh no, that's raspberry.
Oh yeah, do you know that smells like a slush puppy?
It takes me back to some clubs in Portsmouth.
Oh,
it does.
We were saying earlier, do you guys remember if you were old enough? And oh my god, it looks like, why? How is this legal drink? I don't know.
It's beautiful.
I know. How much do you want? It's like a good amount.
Just go for it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. This could be interesting.
We were saying, do you remember when there was Alco Pops? Like when I was 16 and not allowed alcohol, like when we had parties we used to get Bacardi Breezers and Smirnoff Ices and things like that. But I think adults drunk that as well. That wasn't just us being like it wasn't a drink for children, presumably, because it's like...
Well no, definitely isn't a drink for kids.
You're meant to be 18 to drink.
Look at it, it looks like a perfect kid's drink.
Yeah,
look at that, oh with that yellow.
Oh nice, actually.
Oh, we could actually be in Gran Canaria. When I was about 16, let's pretend I was 18, but I was probably about 15, 16.
Oh, everyone drinks.
And my mum and my stepdad used to go away. I would invite, and they were teachers at my school, I would invite all my mates round, and it was WKD Blue that got me in trouble because my mum had some clinking in one of the bin bags after she came from holiday, and it opened, and it was just full
of WKD?
Yeah, and mum was like, oh, what's all this from?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Someone broke in and put some
Maybe
drinks.
my mum did drink it.
Maybe she did.
Oh, we need to cheers.
Okay, cheers.
Right, now then, this is going to be interesting, the flavour.
I actually really like that.
That is like a slush puppy.
That is like, I love it. It's exactly like a slush puppy.
£3 a bottle.
£3? Look how much we've drunk of it already.
It looks like it should be in like a Marvel film. Like this will become our superpower.
That's me getting my superpower. You've also brought some books from the other room into this room.
Literally, I've just brought them
through the room. Which books have you brought to talk about
Not
today?
to disappoint anyone who may have seen my channel or know me, obviously I've had to bring this, which apparently I've been told I talk about too much.
We've just shot a video this morning for Simon's channel, and I think we had about 5 or 6 different Rebecca references throughout the whole video, so...
But because...
If you're not Rebecca'd out, then we can talk about it today.
If you are, bye.
Then leave, just leave the video.
But this book, the reason I go on about it so much is because I stopped reading from the ages of, I think about 16 to 22, and it was this book that made me read again. So
I think
that's why I love it.
That's good. It's good. No,
that's really good. Well done,
that's
Simon.
Nice for you.
But you aren't so fond of the Du Maurier.
I'm not fond of the Du Maurier. I read Rebecca years ago in a similar...
You can unsubscribe now.
I read Rebecca probably about the same sort of time as you did in my life. So like I stopped reading when I was doing my A-levels and I was at uni. I just didn't read because I was like, you know, drinking this stuff. And then I started reading again in the summer holidays between uni and then also when I started commuting, when I started working. And Rebecca was one of the first books that I picked up. And at the time I think I liked it because when I did read like Jane Eyre, I tried reading Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights and all those, which I'd never read before, and I did find them so hard. And I think when you're trying to get into classics, something like Rebecca is a really good
it's a good stepping stone.
And
also,
it was fine. It
does remind you why like books can be brilliant, because you do get completely lost in this.
See, I didn't. See this, So this is the thing. I still would recommend Rebecca to people. When people ask me how do I get into classics, I would say read Rebecca. I've got nothing against it. I just think it was, and then I thought it was quite predictable. And I know that's a weird thing to say. I think people are like, oh wow, it was so twisty. And I was like, was it?
It's not as twisty as I think people say it is.
Yeah.
I will agree with that one. I think for me it was about the atmosphere, and it was about all the things that I loved as a kid. I loved gothic books, and I loved mysteries, and I loved old creepy houses, and I loved kind of witchy, sinister, housekeepery kind of people. So it's like tick, 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 tick.
It's all the things you liked.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And it's good if it gets you back into reading. You're always going to have a soft spot in your heart.
But I'm going to say something quite shocking. I think Jamaica Inn's a big pile of...
No, but I hate Jamaica Inn.
But do you know what I think it is? Do you like Wuthering Heights? Because I hate Wuthering Heights.
Oh no, I like Wuthering Heights.
But I love Jane Eyre, and I think it's the same because this is riffing on Jane Eyre.
This is basically Jane Eyre.
That is riffing off Wuthering Heights.
I've only read 2 of Natalie du Maurier's books, so I would definitely be open to reading more, especially like the short stories.
I'm going to give you my spare copy of My Cousin Rachel because I think it's a better psychological thriller than this.
All right.
In fact, actually, I would say it's a better book than this. But because this is my first du Maurier, and because it got me back into reading,
that's why
I just can't see any wrong in it. That said, I read it for the second time last year or the year before when I went to America to do a podcasty thing where we talked about our favourite books. I didn't enjoy it the second time as much. So I will never read it again.
This is my favourite book. I will never read it again.
It's gone.
Don't, because when you throw books across the room, subscribers get very unhappy.
Oh, I'm really sorry. It's fine. It's safe.
They don't mind if it's yours. Oh, it's because I threw your book. Yeah. Whoops.
And then second choice, just to troll Lauren basically, is This Beauty.
Yeah.
Which I think has even got a nice. Let's just check.
Let's just check.
Oh,
Hanya. Oh, it's a little picture of her. When I was reading it, I was so sucked in, and I loved it, and I was just like, I couldn't put it down. And that is definitely saying something for a book that bloody long that you can't put it down. Like I definitely wanted to keep reading.
Put the wall between us.
So that in that sense it was fine. The last 150, 200 pages, maybe the last 100 pages, I got so angry, and I don't normally. I was reading it on my Kindle, and I threw my Kindle across the room. When you know what happened at the end, you know what I'm talking about. I got so
There's so many
angry
points like that with
about
this book. I think, and talking about hype,
because it was needless.
What was interesting for me was I read this on a bank holiday weekend. I know how to have a good time. I read this over a bank holiday weekend when it was about 6 or 7 months before it came out. And I'd been told to just try these little, the publisher sent it with like little post-its all the way through. And we're like, oh, just try these sections. I was like, no, you know what, I'm going to give it a whirl. And I could not stop reading it. Yeah. Once I started it, I literally could not stop reading it. And I agree, it needs an edit.
It needs a massive edit.
Agree,
that's my main issue.
But I also think the flaws in it are some of the stuff that I like the most because it is flawed. The other thing that I found really interesting, and this is probably because of Durkheim's, but I didn't know it was Durkheim's at the time, was that I spend a lot of time in pain, and I think pain is described so viscerally in this. And I think when you're living with it a lot of the time, people forget because your tolerance for it becomes kind of higher as it goes. And so people start to just think you're okay, even though like people might see that I've got scars, or people might see that I've got lumps and bumps here and there and everywhere. And this made me think about that. Yeah. And made me kind of, I don't know, it made me want to put it in people's hands for lots of reasons, because I wanted them to be deeply uncomfortable with it. I wanted them to get lost in it. And almost, it sounds horrible to say this, but I kind of wanted people to be horrified by it. Yeah. Which makes me probably sound like a really weird person. Yeah.
But then I think that's the point of the book though anyway, isn't it? To horrify in a way.
But I don't think it does it in a voyeuristic way.
No, see, I think it does.
I don't.
I think it gets to a point where it goes far too far. Like I think there's something absolutely brilliant somewhere in here, and I think it just got lost because it wasn't edited properly, and it became gratuitous, and there was so much pain to the point where I was like, why is this book even being written? But I agree with you that like the way she describes pain, the way she describes self-loathing, and like your sort of internalized view of yourself compared to other people's views of you. Or like, there's some of that she does absolutely excellently, and there's definitely good stuff in there. I just think it goes too far.
But at the same time, it's done cleverly enough. The whole editing thing fascinates me because there are some books I've read that haven't edited, Alan Hollinghurst, that I absolutely hated. But I think there's something about reading an author's work as they intend it to go out. There's a rawness to that.
Mm-hmm. Do we need 800 pages of that though?
Well, that's what the author intended. It's their work.
Where's the line then between this is art, which people are going to...
889.
Where do you draw the line? What's the self-indulgence?
That's a very good question.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's as it's intended.
Please leave your comments down below.
I could sneeze into a tissue and be like, this is how I intend you to view it. And you could be like,
yeah, but
that's ridiculous.
That's a bit like all art though, isn't it? Like, if you go and look at Tracy Emin's bed, you could just think, True. But it's actually brilliant in its own weird way.
But then
like
what's...
this.
But then where does the role of like the editor or the critic or the, do you know, like, there is some kind of refinement to be
had. I do agree. No, overall I do agree, because I believe in gatekeepers of all sorts. So be they publicists, be they editors, be they, PR, whatever. But at the same time, there's just something I find odd about an author's work being filtered down by other people.
But you have to be very, very self-aware to be able to put out a piece of work and it be just perfect without anybody else's input. We're used to the idea that maybe like 10 people will write a song. And like, but it feels like writing a book is like, this is your work and it was just you and you wrote it and you gave it to the world. But like a lot of other art or things that are created are made by a group of people and that's not weird. Right, I think we've talked about enough about Little Life, haven't we?
But then I think if we go for a happy twist at the end, ta-da!
Yay, this is Serpent. We like this.
I love this. It's my book of last year.
This was my most surprising book of this year so far. Because when I first started, I was like, oh.
Really?
Yeah, I really couldn't get into it. But when I first started reading it, I thought, oh, I love this writing. And then when I got into it, I was like, oh, this story is very boring. I don't like any of the characters. I found it a real slog. And then as I went through...
See why we get on, can't you?
No, but this is what I'm saying. As I went through, I absolutely loved it.
No,
like, I started liking it. I was like, oh, it's okay. Yeah. It was like exponential.
What I love about this is it's proper storytelling. And that's what I think is missing a lot in fiction at the moment. There's a big grand sweeping statement.
That is a big statement.
I just think storytelling's sort of gone out the window and been seen as a bit old school.
So do you think it's more about language and internal thought? And what
There's
do you think is the trend now?
That spend 100 pages walking to the shops thinking about your divorce.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those going on. No one wants that.
Right,
well, you might want one. Yeah, but then if you like read 25, you're a bit pissed off by it. Whereas this, there's a bit of death.
There's a bit of plot.
There's some serious plot. And it was one of those books where I will watch a lot of videos by people who shall remain nameless but are in this room, where they see lots of layers that I'm like, oh, I don't see that in that book. I just read it and think it's a good story, yes or no. But this book, I got loads and loads and loads of layers and I could see what she was doing and the homages she was playing and all that sort of stuff. But what amazed me, and I could not believe when I finished reading this book, was that she's never read a Wilkie Collins novel.
Oh my God, really?
And I was like, this is like a Wilkie Collins novel of now.
It really reminded me...
Do you like a sensation novel? You know, your Wilkies, your old Victorian...
I've not read Wilkie Collins. Sorry.
It's going really, really well.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Why are we friends? Every book you're like, I loved it, I hated it.
No, but you know what, that's not always true. We both like My Name is Leon.
Oh yeah.
And Liz said My Name is Kit DeWall.
My name is Kit DeWall. We both like that. We like Stay With Me.
We love this.
We do like that.
Stay With Me.
It's true. Those are 3 books we both like.
Well done to us. No, but I think also it's great when you can have a really good debate about a book with someone.
Yeah, I find that more interesting in a way.
And can be polar opposite ends of the spectrum on it, but have a really interesting conversation that doesn't involve black eyes.
Well.
Yeah. But I just love it and I just want everyone to read it still.
I really, really liked it. My friend said that she was getting big Crimson Petal and the White vibes from it.
Oh, look at those. Look at them babies.
What a nice
they almost go with the...
Oh,
look at that.
almost.
Back to the old drinks. What does Blue WKD remind you of? Because all it's reminding me of currently is nights out in Pointsmouth.
I honestly don't think I drank WKD that much at parties when I was younger.
Oh,
I was more of a Bacardi Breezer girl. But what it does remind me of is at uni we used to make cheeky Vintos. Do you know where they are?
No.
That's this and port.
Oh.
So and it tastes like Ribena. So it tastes like Vimto.
I thought a cheeky Vimto is one of my classiest drinks that I still like to chug on now, which is when I put Ribena into Prosecco.
Ooh.
It's classy.
That's quite a cheeky Vimto as well. Different
cheeky
version.
Ribena.
Yeah, but the pub near us at uni did that. Like they served a cheeky. Did you have a pint of port and WKD? Can you imagine? Like this is your mixer.
How old are you at that point? 16.
Well, no, like 19, 20.
Oh no.
I was an adult by that.
Do you remember Aftershock?
Oh, that was horrible.
It was amazing though. You had good nights out on that.
Oh, I never liked shots that tasted nasty. So I used to have like Corky's shots. I used to be like, strawberry cheesecake please. And like not get me drunk at all.
What about the ones with gold in?
Or like the Gosh lager or something.
And they were still a full on. Ooh.
Oh, I like those. They taste like cinnamon.
And the other ones that the one drink that I nearly got us to have was MD 2020.
I don't remember that.
I had a good few nights kissing boys fueled on that one.
I had a good few nights on that.
It wasn't boys really, it was beardy men. That's one thing that hasn't changed in years. Anyway,
well that was a delightful conversation.
We didn't fall out.
We didn't fall out. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the WKD. I'm actually quite enjoying it.
I'm really.
It's really tasty.
I want more of it.
I know. Chris has got me wine for dinner, but I might just drink this.
I will. But thanks very much for having me on. Well, when you say having you on, it's like you've just wound me up and led me a merry dance for the last however long.
You've been having me
You've
on.
been having me
You
on.
have been having me on. Thanks, Simon, and thank you. What should people say in the comments, do you think? We'd
How
like to
much
hear
they
from
love
you.
Rebecca.
How much you hate A Little Life.
What are your thoughts on art? When is that line?
Where's that line? When is something art which is worthwhile for people to see and watch? And when is it not? When is it something dodgy?
Art and when is it fart?
Yes. Okay, thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.
Bye.